everybody, welcome back to another episode of the 3 Count. I'm War Machine MJ, the greatest second place champion, and tied for first as of Clash of Champions. And yes, this is the last episode of the network stuff. The last episode of 3 Count, the network edition, as its current format exists. See, because on the old episodes the old episodes of 3 Count Network Edition run through all 3 shows that are on the network all at one time. But now that has to be broken. So, let's go ahead and jump into the skivvy of it, shall we? Before we kick into this, it was announced last week that 205 Live will be moving to Fridays with SmackDown. It's still going to be the hour after SmackDown ends. And then on NXT UK, they announced that UK will be moving to Thursdays now. So yes, we have a whole complete week of wrestling, not counting pay-per-views or takeovers or Saturday night specials. Got Raw on Monday, Impact on Tuesdays on Access, NXT and AEW on Wednesday, NXT UK on Thursday, SmackDown and 205 Live on Fridays. Just a stacked week. Survivor Series is going to be ugly because you got all those shows plus Takeover and Survivor Series. That's it. You're going to be burnt, and then the week starts itself back over. You're going to be burnt out on wrestling. Anyway, let's go ahead and kick it off. Let's start with NXT UK. Not the best show this week. Just felt largely inconsequential. Started the show off with Ligero taking on Oliver Carter, who seeks to pick up his first win on the United brand. But unfortunately, he would be on the business end of the C4L from Ligero, who is seemed to be working a tidbit heelish in this one. Just sort of kicked Oliver Carter out of spite before spiking him with the C4L. Next we had Tyler Bate making his return to NXT UK after failing to dethrone Walter when he was confronted by the Irish ace, Jordan Devlin, who basically called Tyler Bate a failure and said if it wasn't for him being left off of TakeOver, he would have beaten Walter. So yeah, we're going to see a showdown between those two in the near future. I personally wouldn't mind Jordan Devlin being NXT UK champion. I'm sorry, WWE UK champion. Next, we had a one-sided affair as Nina Samuels put away Danny Luna. And then in the main event, we had Noam Dar and Trent Seven finally squaring off after Noam Dar made an ass out of himself. Yeah, Trent Seven seemed to have things well enough in hand. While Noam Dar had him down, Noam Dar took Seven's signature towel, wiped the sweat off of himself, blew his nose into it, and stuck it in the business area of his pants. The front. That made Trent Seven real mad, and he got disqualified because he kept laying into Noam Dar even past the 5 count. So yeah, those two are not done yet. So from NXT, we move on to 205 Live, where we kicked off the show with a battle of cousins as Humberto Carrillo took on his cousin Angel Garza. This was a really good Really good back and forth match. There was even a spot where they both traded pendulum holds with each other. It's really fantastic. However, um, Humberto Carrillo picked up the victory with the Aztec press, sending his cousin home very unhappy on his birthday. And in the main event, sorry, we had tag team action as Drew Gulak and Tony Nese took on Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. This was a really good match. Lorcan and Burch worked their Smash Mouth style, while Gulak and Nese worked their hybrid slash ground and pound or ground submission style. So it was a really good tag team affair. But the team of the team of 1-2, Lorcan and Burch, put away the cruiserweight champion and his premier friend. So just a fantastic episode of 205, and we move on to 2 hours of NXT, 1 hour on USA Network, the other half on WWE Network. We kicked off the show with a match that there are no words to describe, just the sheer disgusting feats of agility these men pulled off. I am, of course, talking about Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic. Oh my god. What a match. These two beat the absolute out of each other. They did things that I didn't think were possible. And the one moment where I just popped up off this couch and yelled, "Get the out of here," was when Dijakovic hit Keith Lee with a top rope Canadian destroyer. Done. Speaking of done, Dijakovic ate a loss from Keith Lee, so now the ball game score is 1 win, 1 loss, 1 tie apiece. So either they're going to kick the absolute out of each other out of a penultimate rubber match, or they're going to be a tag team. I'm hoping we get both. Next, we had the in-ring return of Dakota Kai. Once again, she was out for injury, and I had completely forgotten she was on the shelf. But however, the cute kicking Kiwi came back and put down the jiu-jitsu expert of Tainara Conti. It was a good back and forth match. Great to see Dakota Kai back. And we ended off the first half of NXT on the USA Network with Matt Riddle and Killian Dain's street fight. Oh boy! Now we kicked off the top of the show with the Undisputed Era in a crow's nest above commentary, as you know they seek to reign over their kingdom. And Riddle and Dain were fighting for the opportunity to face Adam Cole next week on 2 hours uninterrupted on the USA Network. And what a match. Nobody else got involved. These two just beat the absolute mess out of each other. Weapon spots, kendo shots. Matt Riddle caught the kendo stick with his hair. Look it up. It's a pretty cool spot. Dain put Riddle through a wall. It was just absolute chaos. However, Matt Riddle got the victory with the Fujiwara armbar. And Adam Cole took to the ring to basically get a jump start on their match next week. However, Matt Riddle answered with the Fujiwara armbar and just beat feet as soon as the rest of the Undisputed Era showed up. And now the second half, which was on the USA Network, was kicked off with Rhea Ripley taking on Kane Carter, aka Lacey Lane. I'm not too big on the name change because Lacey Lane, that's a great name. But whatever, I'll roll with it. I'll still say what I've always said. Lacey Lane's got a top-notch look to her. Even though she brought the fight to Ripley, it still wasn't enough as Rhea Ripley put her away with the Riptide. Next, we had Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch with their second appearance on this network episode, as they took on Chase Parker and Matt Martell, Everrise, or as I like to call them, the NWO version of Best Friends. Because in their debut, they hugged a lot. Yeah, this was a pretty good match. However, the team of 1-2 picked up their second victory of the week. It was pretty good. Speaking of good, next we had Cameron Grimes taking on Raul Mendoza. And Cameron Grimes looked to put Mendoza away early like he did Sean Maluta last week. Yeah, right out the gate, Grimes went for the jumping double stomp. Raul Mendoza just ducked underneath it and just slid halfway across the ring saying, no, 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 not this time. But they beat the absolute tar out of each other, flips, dives, all and whatnot. However, Grimes pulled the double stomp out of nowhere to just clinch the victory. And next, we had our main event, which was Alexander Wolf, Fabian Aichner, and Marcel Barthel of Imperium taking on Kushida and his team. And of course, who did he pick? Well, I was hoping he'd pick Lorcan and Birch. But no, he picked Brazongo. I mean, it was alright. Tyler Breeze spent half the match just getting this kicked out of him. But yeah, Kushida and Brazongo got the victory with Kushida. I believe Kushida tapped out Yeah. No, he got a bridge pin on Barthel. But yeah, as soon as the victory happened, Walter put Kushida on his ass with a big boot. So yeah, that's how we close out the NXT for this week. Actually, that's how we close out our last episode of Network Stuff as we know it. More on that in a second. Match of the week. I got to give it to Keith Lee, Donovan Dijakovic, hands down. Because that was definitely something to bask in its glory, and definitely a match you need to feast your eyes. So yeah. Now that we're done with the recap, you know what time is plug time. If you miss Rod's opinions but not his ugly face, he has a podcast, Prime Talk with Rodimus Prime. He's going to talk all sorts of sports, even talk about Auburn's dominating win over Mississippi State. Yeah, program alert. Since next week's radical shift with wrestling, we're going to be changing up how 3 count goes. We're going to go from 2 episodes of 3 count to 3 episodes of 3 count. First one's going to be about Monday Night Raw. Second one is going to be about NXT and NXT UK. Last one's going to be about SmackDown and 205 Live. Then we're going to be introducing a new show to the channel. It's going to be Elite Count. Where we just talk shop about AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite. Sorry, it's originally going to be Tuesday night. But yeah. So yeah. We're also going to be doing a preview and review of Hell in a Cell. So, look forward to that. That being said, yeah, I am still the greatest second place champion of this brand, United States of War Machine MJ, of the 3 Count Mafia. And we'll see you guys next time.